Well, welcome back, everybody. I'm Stephanie Havel with Wells Fargo Home Mortgage.
And I'm Dawn Eldridge with Remax Results.
So,
missing Jason today. And
I know. Well,
I don't know
okay.
what happened to him. He's become the invisible man. But
Personally, I think I'm a lot cuter than him. And
you are. And we talk very well together. And actually, people can
relate to us.
Yes.
Yeah, the two blondes.
That's right.
All right.
The Sparkles and Champagne show this morning.
And we're gonna and we have in Shawn Morrison. He's been sitting nice and quiet over here with Good in the Hood. So glad to have you, Shawn, here, and thanks for coming in. And we had another guest cancel. So I know I have worked with your organization in the past. We kind of came across it because Wells Fargo. I'm the chairperson for our community support campaign at Wells Fargo in our territory. So I get voted for it every year. I'm like, seriously, people, like I don't have enough things on my plate. Now I have to be but I love it. But probably because I really have a heart for volunteering and nonprofit organizations. And so we're always trying to look for different organizations that we can help in and ones that are really involved in the community. I mean, obviously we have Wells Fargo banks in almost all cities, but another branch manager had heard about your organization. And so then I contacted, and I think it was Seth. Is it Jen Seth?
Jankowski.
Seth. Yeah, we'll just leave it at
don't
Seth.
say that quickly.
Okay, yeah. and so maybe you can share a little bit about it. But what we did was a shoe drive, and I had never heard of this organization. And when I told my team members about it, and then my loan officers, my Wells Fargo loan officers, sit inside of Wells Fargo Bank. So when you go into a Wells Fargo Bank, there's always a mortgage loan officer. Well, we had so much fun with this kind of competition, if you will, as to what branch could gather the most shoes. And so not only did our mortgage consultants get in on it, but our bankers and the tellers and the bank managers, and they're competing against all the other local banks and so forth. So welcome, Shawn. And if you maybe want to just kind of maybe tell us a little about yourself and the organization, then maybe we can talk more about the shoe drive that our team participated in.
Well, thank you. Great to be here. And I want to do a shout out for Wells Fargo because they really did it. They knocked it out of the park with the shoe collection. Shawn Morrison, I'm married, have 5 kids, and
wow.
That's not the whole story. I've got
we weren't saying wow to being married, wow to 5 kids, right?
Yeah.
12 grandkids.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, wow.
I keep teasing my kids. I say, I think you're related to a rabbit. So. But my wife and I pastor a church as well, Cedar Crest Free Methodist Church in Bloomington.
Awesome.
And then Good in the Hood. It was something that started in my heart several years ago, and I need to at least make mention of the name. The word hood can mean ghetto, but that's not really what we're implying. We want the community to really experience the neighborhood. And so Mr. Rogers had the neighborhood name, Good in the Neighborhood, so I didn't want to be Mr. Rogers. He's a great guy, so we went with Good in the Hood. And,
okay.
And that's really what we do. We want to do focused acts of kindness. We want to influence, inspire, and ultimately impact individuals, families, entire communities for good. And so we do that together with groups like Wells Fargo and the community. And it's just wonderful to see the impact it makes when kindness is on display.
Right. Well, and, gosh, with everything going on right now in the media, we don't even have to get into that. But, yeah, how awesome. I mean, probably the timing of you being here and kindness. And so are you the founder and starter of Good in the Hood?
Yeah, I started it in 2003. So the founder, I get to be the executive director. My son will debate that with me. But he's 13, and he's pretty soon going to be bigger than me. He might win that debate.
Okay.
But
I would take it your whole family's involved as well.
In some way, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Some aren't living local anymore, so they're not involved directly anymore, but the ones that are local are certainly involved, and I recruit them as volunteers every day.
And are you Minnesota-based, or is it national yet? Are you trying to make it national?
Yeah, great question. Good in the Hood as an organization is primarily local to the Twin Cities. We get outside the Twin Cities a bit, but pretty much local. But the program, Shoe Away Hunger, we've collected shoes all the way to LA and Portland and Chicago. So that seems to have grown, and we're getting actually a shipment of shoes from Las Vegas here coming this week.
Wow, those will be exciting to see.
Yeah.
So do you sell them here then?
Yeah, good question. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was going to say, why don't you maybe explain the difference? Because I didn't know that either. Like Good in the Hood and Shoe Away Hunger are actually kind of two separate entities.
They are.
Right?
Good in the Hood's the organization, and then we have several programs, and one of them happens to be Shoe Away Hunger.
Okay.
We promote Shoe Away Hunger a lot because it's a great way to engage the community in a unique way, and it has such a positive impact. One pair of shoes donated actually can feed someone a week's worth of groceries. So
okay, so tell me,
impact.
so that, again, if I donate a pair of shoes, somebody eats. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a new pair of shoes either, right?
Right. We want gently used or new, maybe something that's still in great condition.
Right.
We'll take good. We have three categories: great, good, grind. And the grind, we actually just repurpose them to another organization who uses them, and they grind them up into furniture filler and other
Wow.
things. But they stay out of landfills. The good ones we wholesale, and we usually get about $3 a pair for those. And then the great ones, they go on a bus that Schuler Shoes donated a bus to us, brand new bus. It was
Okay.
amazing.
Wow.
And they
That's
helped.
really nice.
Yeah, and John and Nancy Schuler, the owners, got out there and they were part of taking the seats out and putting shelves in. I mean, they were personally involved, and they've been such a wonderful sponsor for us and partner. And this bus has been turned into a mobile thrift store. And so we go to a number of places, including, if anybody's heard of Fair for All, Scott Weatherhead and his team. Fair for All is a place that offers groceries for about a third or less of the price of retail for anybody in need.
Okay.
And so they give away groceries at a real good cost, and they've invited us to come alongside them and park our bus at their sales. And in 2 hours, we might sell, 80 to 100 pair of shoes to people in need for $5 suggested donation. And
Wow.
every time we sell a pair, we're feeding at least one person a week's worth of groceries. The cost of groceries, it's not all our administrative overhead, but the cost of groceries is about $2.50 for 1 week.
So, okay. So
It is?
Yeah. When you're a food
Wow.
shelf, you can buy them by volume,
Okay.
and we get some tremendous, I'll say, deals through Second Harvest, Heartland, and the Food Bank, which is
That's
or
really
the food
nice.
the food group, which are a couple food banks that are in
So,
the local
okay, so
area.
make sure I understand, or maybe our listeners understand then, Shawn, is so you have the bus, people come in and they can, I think it's $5 for an adult pair of shoes and
Correct.
$2 for kids' shoes.
You got
correct?
it.
So they come in, excuse me, buy a pair of shoes, and then you're by the food shop, and then they can,
Then
from the money that you make from selling the shoes, you buy food, and so to
Yeah.
give it away.
Yeah, because we have a lot of hunger relief going on in our organization. We're feeding somewhere around 4,000 people every month.
Wow.
We're in eight different public schools, 2 colleges, a few churches. We have a mobile program. So I like to say we're everywhere, but we're throughout the Twin Cities. But all that revenue that we get from the shoes goes to pay for groceries.
So how, if you were a person in need, how do they go through a process of approval, or how does it work?
Yeah, great question. We look at it and say, whosoever will can come. And so if you have a need and it's declared, we certainly have a registration process, but if you feel like you have a need, you can come and join us. And it really, we want it to be dignified, so we don't want to take that away from somebody. We're not going to, do the test on them. Are you being honest or you're not? We really want to just invite people to come in. And one of the keys of our program, we offer we call them the 3 Ps. We say we are about provision, offering basic resources to those in need. And then the second P is participation. We invite those who are recipients to join us so that they feel a sense of dignity. And about half of our volunteers at any given time are actually those who are recipients of services. That's a home run for us because they feel like they can be a part of this. Rather than us doing for them, we're actually doing with them. It becomes like a co-op community. And the third P is partnerships. And
I was
we have
just going to
several
say,
ones.
it must be partnership.
Yeah,
Yep.
good.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of our thing is provision, participation, partnerships. And so, so people in need can come on in and it's self-declared, you're on your honor.
So if I want to volunteer, how can people get involved that aren't in need, but they want to
Yeah. Well,
partner and participate?
first way is give me your shoes right now. I'm teasing.
wearing-
Well,
I'm
I might
wearing
actually take them.
flip-flops,
We'll even do those. But no, seriously, couple ways. Go to our website, www.goodinthehood.org. We have a volunteer button there. You can fill it out, and it lists a number of our volunteer opportunities. Certainly, we can be connected to by email. Go info@goodinthehood.org. Call us at 612-217-4003, or just talk to one of us, or certainly word of mouth. It spreads by word of mouth, and we're such a kindness-based organization with we like to say not just random acts but intentional acts, and so we like to go viral through word of mouth.
I like that
So-
intentional.
That's
And that
awesome.
bus too. So you can. I was just on the website this morning, and that's how I noticed. So you have a calendar. I was like, oh, the bus is in Blaine today. I live in Blaine, and the Good in the Hood bus is going to be there. And maybe you can. And we have a few minutes here before we go, take a break. But about the shoes. So what was so fun is my sister has 2 teenage boys, and my oldest nephew loves his Nike. I couldn't believe how much money he spends on these tennis shoes. It's outrageous. But the kid is growing like crazy. And so he's buying these $150 Nike Air Jordan shoes, and he wears them for like 6 months, and then they don't fit anymore. So then who's going to wear them? And so I told my sister, and my nephew, they're very generous. My sister's like, well, I don't know, a garage sale, but, kids in their neighborhood don't want to buy shoes from a garage sale. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, how great. So my nephews then started saying, all right, they're going to do a shoe drive with all their friends on the basketball team and everything like that in their neighborhood. And when I showed them the website and what it does, they were just so inspired, So it was really great for kids to see that, somebody else maybe who couldn't afford a $150 pair of tennis shoes can now for $5 buy a pair of Air Jordans, right?
Yep.
On the bus. And you guys are in all different cities.
We are. We're all over the Twin Cities. We even get out to some place like Little Falls, St. Cloud. We've been down to Rochester. We've been out to North Branch. We try to stay as local as possible, just because there is such a need here in the Twin Cities. When I first started this, I was actually thinking it was just going to be a revenue driver for hunger relief. And I'm kind of the slogan guy, so I was going, well, should it be give a boot to hunger? And that was kind of in my mind. And then it's too seasonal. So then shoo away hunger came. And of course, there's all kinds of things now that we get out of that. We're running a nonprofit and a shoestring budget and all these other, catchy phrases.
That's fun.
Yeah, and I say the defeat
I'm a little bit,
hunger. I like that.
We're a little bit
That's great.
cheesy, but anyway, all that to say, we've gotten to the point now where, the shoo away hunger is kind of the name, and that's, really making a difference in lives, not only hunger relief, but it puts shoes on the feet of those in need.
All right, good stuff.
really
Well, I know I have a lot more questions, and we'll talk
me
more with
too.
Shawn in our next segment. I'm Stephanie Havel with Wells Fargo Home Mortgage.
And I'm Dawn Eldridge with RE/MAX Results.
Told my mama don't